Today we're making New York strip steak. Start with the grass-fed organic strip steak. Fat is on one side, and I put it in a dish or a pan that can fit into the refrigerator. Side, you're gonna put sea salt, then crushed black pepper, and then we're gonna coat it with a little bit of flour or cornstarch. The goal of the flour or cornstarch is just to put enough on each side that it feels like a baby's butt was just powdered. So just enough to take all the moisture away and give it a very, 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 very light coat, like that. So then we're gonna flip it over, and then we're gonna do salt, pepper, and flour on this side. I had the steak in the refrigerator for, it could be from 10 to 30 minutes. It's really just to make sure the excess moisture goes away and it's just sort of cool and dry. When it's cool and dry, you're gonna take it out and bring it up to like a room temperature. Okay, so the steak has been brought up to room temperature, and the side that has the fat is going to go directly onto a pan that I've already brought up to like a medium-high temperature. Now, you have to hold the tongs, more than likely, because you have to let it stay in this position. You're gonna do it until all that fat sears off that side. So when it is almost all gone, at that point we can go ahead and add some sort of butter into the pan. But for now, nothing in the pan other than the steak and some heat. Okay, you can see the fat is sort of shrinking, and some of the fat is coming into the pan now. We have to continue this until it's all gone. You might have to put your overhead fan on. It gets a little smoky. And continue holding it. I just sort of rub the fat around in the pan. You can see it doesn't like to stay straight. You see it's starting to get a sear, but that other part looks pretty light in color, so down it goes again. Okay, so that color is good enough for me. I don't really eat the fat, but I just like it to look a little more uniform in color with the rest of the steak. So it's time to add in the butter. It's really important to know you can only flip the steak one time. So let me get the butter in. Okay, so that's a good amount of butter to give somebody a heart attack. That's what we want. I'm just gonna mix it a little bit in the pan. And then now I'm gonna let the steak fall on one side. I'm gonna move that butter a little, this side and that. Now the steak is gonna cook on medium or medium-high until the underside is completely seared, and I would probably say you've cooked the steak more than 50-60% through all the way. So we're gonna wait till that. Okay, so the butter is getting pretty brown. Just be sure you're always mixing the butter along so it doesn't burn. If I lift it, you can see it has a pretty decent sear on it. And then you look on the side, you can see that half of it is cooked, but we need to cook this first part a lot more. So just let it go longer than half. Okay, so we're ready to flip it. You can see here a good color. That butter, part of it's brown because of the heat. Part of it is the black pepper that's on the steak. So now I'm gonna flip it. And then you can see it's like a good hard crust on it. Now what I do at this point, this is the point that I add something else to go alongside. So I add some mushrooms in, for example. And I just use that butter that's already cooked. It's at a really high temperature, so we don't really have to worry about like a cross-contamination. But I just cook those down a little bit. Checking on the mushrooms. When they're done, I'll either take them out of the pan or just let them rest on top of the steak to stay warm, but they're not done yet, so. Okay, so you're gonna feel the top to see how soft it is, to know how well done it is according to your preference. And then if we look, that is perfect. So then I just take it out, and then we're gonna leave it on the cutting board to rest about 15 minutes. And then I cut it up, and you can see it, well, I can see it's the exact color I wanted. A little bit more well done on the ends, and then going a little bit more rare towards the middle, which offers something for everyone.